Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Andrew Snorton with Creative Community Solutions, and today, Sunday, March 20th, we are so excited to be here at Poplar Hill Baptist Church, not only just for worship, but to really celebrate the life of a steward and advocate. So as I like to do, I like people to introduce themselves.
Very good. Andrew, thank you very much. I'm Avery Headd. I'm pastor at Poplar Hill Baptist Church. Again, as Andrew stated, I've been here serving and being blessed for 27 years. We're in Beaufort, Georgia, which is the last, I guess, one of the last city in Gwinnett County before you move into Hall County. And Beaufort is a thriving, growing place, and we're located right downtown Beaufort, Georgia, right across the street on Main Street, as a matter of fact. And we see all the activity going on, all the growth that's been around. We've been a part of it in one way or the other. And so we're thankful to be here, 27 years. Our church is Poplar Hill. We've existed here in this community for nearly 140 years. And I guess I'm the longest tenured pastor here, but more importantly, we have a thriving ministry that's doing superiorly well. And I'm just glad to be the pastor, senior leader here at the church.
Wow, that's a lot of moving parts taking place. So, before we get into looking at 27 years and things along those lines, could you walk through with us a little bit of your spiritual journey from the sense of when did you know that ministry was going to be your next step?
Well, I'm turning 64 years of age this year, and I can honestly say that I got a calling when I was 13. At the time, we were Presbyterian. My dad, my family, we were all Presbyterian, St. James United Presbyterian Church in Louisville, Mississippi. And our pastor had a tragic car accident and passed away. And when he passed away, I was really angry with God, as I knew God, and questioned why would that take place. It seemed that life was going well. Everything was super in my life. And for our pastor to be taken away, who was just a wonderful man, John W. Wade. And when he passed away, it just rocked our entire world, mine in particular. And I'm arguing with God about taking away a great leader. And the word I got back is, you prepare for leadership. You prepare for pastorship if you think you can do better. So I began to hold it in my heart, knowing that I would eventually be a pastor at the age of 13. And my life has been pretty much centered around pastoring since 13. And I think I became a young man around 20 years old before I even told anyone that the Lord and I had that conversation. And from that point on, I was graduating from Georgia State University with a degree in political science, and subsequently started my degree in divinity shortly after that over at the Morehouse School of Religion at ITC. And subsequently, Poplar Hill is my second church. I pastored in Conyers my first tenure for 9 years, and I've been here now 27 years.
Wow, and I'm glad that you shared that, because you've heard this before. People see us where we are,
yes,
but people don't see what you've been led through in order to get here.
Sure.
And just speaking about, we all, quote, have our moments where it doesn't make sense and we wrestle. Mm-hmm. But like you said before, it was almost like that peace be still.
Sure.
And because of that, that gave you your clarity, your direction.
Yes.
Now, speak to some of the ministries and stewardship and outreach that the church is doing, because I know you have a bunch of moving parts here. What are some key... Well, every ministry, stewardship, and outreach are key.
Right.
Could you walk through with us maybe what are some things that are upcoming that the general community can partake in, whether to lend support, or things along those lines?
Well, Andrew, maybe you've noticed a number of politicians that are here today, and I'm an open door. I believe in our community knowing who our elected officials are and holding them accountable. So they don't just come in and get a vote. They are held accountable when they get the votes. And you've been here before, you've seen the interaction with our Congresswoman and others that are accountable to us. So one of the things that we are doing more recently is actually involving the community and bringing together more political liaisons, if you will, so that we can actually have more forums at the church where people can meet each other and discuss issues and needs. Because I think one of the problems that we have in our society is a disjunction of people to officials. I want to bring those a little bit closer. So we'll have forums here during the Aubrey reveal about his killing, George Floyd in Wisconsin, Minnesota. We actually had a town hall meeting where we had the mayors, the governor, we had the commissioner chair, police chief, sheriff department, and we had churches to come together to talk about the problem of racism in law enforcement. Those things are important because if we don't have those kind of conversations, we'll always live apart from each other. And I want to make sure that we pull it together. One of the things that Poplar Hill is going to do in the very near future is to have a monthly forum where we have political officials or people that are running, pundits running for office to come to the church and talk about what their agendas are and listen to what our agendas are so that they will know how to address our needs and fill in those blanks that would have been so vastly unfulfilled all these years.
And I love what you're sharing because a thought comes to mind about stewardship. Yes. Stewardship isn't sedentary.
No.
And what you are doing is looking at areas of concern within the larger community, areas of concern within the church community, and quote, like the old saying, you can walk and chew gum at the same time.
Absolutely. Yes.
Let me ask you this, before we get ready to wind down and before you let people know the best ways to stay connected and engaged with the church, if people don't remember your walk in spirituality, faith, if they don't remember 27 years, if they don't remember, and of course, acknowledgments to your family, friends, loved ones, what's one takeaway that you'd want people to have? Just something like a kid around you can keep in your hip pocket.
Sure. Yeah, excellent. So thank you for that. One of the things that I think is vastly important is we have the Bible. It's a vast resource. One thing I teach and I practice myself is to get one scripture. Find you one scripture, one verse or key verses that you can actually recite and memorize and hold God accountable for that scripture. If it's a promise, if it's a word, if it's something that God has instructed or put in your heart to do, get that one scripture and post it on your refrigerator, put it in your wallet, put it on your phone so that it comes up every time you turn around. More importantly, hold God accountable for what you believe God is going to do for you. If I don't tell you anything else about Poplar Hill here in Beaufort, that's the one thing I've done in my entire life. After I received my calling, I believe that Christ came to me and said, I've come that you may have life, have it more abundantly. I've grabbed that scripture and I've lived it. I've lived it. I am, again, 64 years old this year. I can say that I've had a blessed life. God has given me abundant life. God has given me more joy than I could ever imagine having just because God is who he really says he is.
Well, Pastor, thank you so much for taking time amidst a very active day. And before we go, please remind people the best ways to stay informed and connected with the great ministry, stewardship, and outreach that the church is doing.
We're online, www.poplarhillbaptist.com. If you'd like to reach us online, if you want to come by the church, we're at 234 East Chapin Avenue in Beaufort, Georgia, 30518. If you'd like to go to Tively, you can find us on the Tively accounts, or just give us a shout and we will give you a call back, 770-945-6131. And God bless you. Again, you'll hear about Poplar Hill. We are a Christ-centered church where love is the greatest.
Thank you so much for taking time. As a reminder, the recap will be available on acenortonccs.com/blog. It'll be active on our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, of course, our website and newsletter. And if this is your first time connecting, please don't let it be your last. Take care. Have a great day. Have a great week.